Hello, my name is Arnold, and I'm going to make this video to, I guess, more or less introduce myself. I've been putting out videos for a few weeks now, probably just over a month, consistently now, and I guess I haven't really spoke on who I am, what I do, why I do it. So here I am. I am a 35-year-old man from New Orleans, Louisiana. I currently now live in Austin, Texas, by way of a small town called Huntsville, Texas. I lived there for about, let's say about 10 years. Well, we're in 2024 now. So close to like 14 years actually. And now I'm in Austin. I've been in Austin for the last year. So 13 years when I lived in Huntsville. Then, so we've since lived out here for about a year, just over a year now. I grew up in New Orleans, lived there the first 16 years of my life, more or less, just because my father was in the Air Force, so we moved around quite a bit. But for the most part, I lived in New Orleans. I'm now, as of the last about 3 years, I've been a stepdad of 2 kids, a now almost 6-year-old little girl and an almost 4-year-old little boy. I've been a vegan for the last pushing 6 years, it'll be 6 years in about a week. Yeah, and kind of what you'll see on my channel here is kind of just me going through life, right? So why do I do what I do? Why do I make content? And it's something that I spoke to my girlfriend about just recently. That is, I do this because, well, one, I do this because this is just the way life is going, right? It's just the way the world's going. It's being more and more content driven. And so why not get into it, right? Like, even though I probably should have started a while ago, I'm doing my best to really get into it as much as possible now. Also, because I want to have control of my life, right? Like, I want to be able to control when I make my money. I want to be able to control when I work. I want to be able to control how I work, the hours that I work, the time that I work, the amount of effort that I put in, because I understand that when you work for another company, there is a certain expectation of hours put in, effort, ability, right? And when you are doing something like content, it's kind of all dependent upon how you want to work. And obviously you want to work relatively hard as far as like getting content out and like producing content and posting and things like that, and being diligent upon that. But at the same time, that I can do it when I want to, as opposed to having a set schedule on this is when I need to be here, this is what I need to do when I'm here, and how I need to do things when I'm here, and this is when I get off, right? Doing content allows me to work when I want to, and like, I don't have, whatever my set schedule is what I've deemed it to be. Because one day it could be one thing, and then the next day things happen, or life happens, or a kid gets sick, or my girlfriend's work schedule is such to where I have to manipulate my own schedule, and I have the freedom of being able to do that, right? And like I spoke to her, what happens is, like in her job, what happens is that if someone calls out, or someone quits, or someone gets fired, or whatever the case may be, someone comes in late, all of those factors factor into how much or how long she is required to work. As a content creator, those particular factors don't cause a requirement, but rather is something that I can manipulate, right? So like, I can always, if I want to edit, right? Because I do all of my shooting, all of my editing, everything. I can decide if I want to maybe I edit at 10 o'clock at night that day. Just because that, like, if you, like, having a full-time job allows me that, right? And now, like, I understand that having a full-time, like, 9 to 5 or traditional job has its pros in the sense of you have a structure. If you are not good with kind of freelance or kind of like not having a structured day, and it also is also good with your almost guaranteed money, more or less, right? You kind of you go in, you clock out, you get paid for that time that you clocked in and clocked out. And so it's not the same for content creation, but I think the freedom and the ability to do things outside of the norm and not be tied to a concrete schedule is, I think, outweighs that, right? And I'm not currently making money from this right now, as you see that. Maybe if you see this later on in life, maybe you see this, a few months down the road or whatever the case may be, maybe I am making money from it at this point in time. But at this moment, as of 9:55 a.m., May 1st, 2024, I'm not. But I think that the more I am consistent, which is the goal, obviously, the more the closer I get to that dream, right? But it's something I'd rather do. I'd rather do content. I'd rather do this because I've always been the kind of person that I never wanted to work for someone, right? I've told many, many people before, I don't want to work for people. I don't want to work for somebody for the rest of my life. Some people like that. If you like that, if you're okay with punching in, going to your job, punching out, whatever, that's on you. That's you. That's great. I love it. I love it for you. For me, I've just always had a hard time, and I don't know if it's necessarily a inability to like work well with authority necessarily, because I think the jobs that I've had, I think I do work well with authority for the most part. I'm also very opinionated, and I'm also very stubborn. But I think that my whole life has been as such to where I would rather work for myself. And this is kind of where I am right now. So hopefully sooner rather than later, doing this allows me to live out my dream of being able to work for myself and create the income that I desire. And it's funny because right because this whole income idea, right? And it's funny because like most people want to have the money, to have financial freedom, to be able to do what they want and not have anybody tell them otherwise or not be bogged down by finances and stuff like that. But like for me, it's never been the money. I want the money because I want the money, but it's because I want the money so that I can do for others, right? For me, I've always been caring and nurturing and such. And so I've always wanted a lot of money so that I can help other people, whether that's helping my immediate family, my children, my girlfriend, or my mom, my grandmother, my father, my siblings, my girlfriend's siblings and friends, and all of these people, and strangers and homeless people. Again, I live in Austin, Texas, so like there's a lot of homeless people. So I would love to be able to help some homeless people out just because I have it. I would love to do that. And so that's what I'm looking for. So hopefully doing this will allow me to get to that point. And that's my goal. It's to get to the point where I can help other people without feeling like I'm hurting myself, right? Anyways, so that's me, right? That's me. So I hope you enjoy my channel. Hope you enjoy the content of my channel. And truly, if you have any questions for me, any comments, any concerns, even about me or my life or my goals, absolutely 1000% feel free to share. Share anything you want in the comment section. It's truly appreciated. Also, please like this video if you appreciate this openness. And likelihood is I'll probably be doing more of these where I just sit down and just talk to the camera about my life, because that's really what this channel is about. It's about my life, and hopefully people can take some things from this channel. And yeah, so give it a like, subscribe if you haven't already. It's greatly appreciated. And I will catch you next week. Bye.